live, go to Tracy Brown Live.
Hi everyone, how are you today? I have my earphones on, but I don't know if they're actually working. So let's see if I tap it a little bit. I don't know if it's actually working. Let me just go to YouTube. It's fine. Oh, there it is. Now it's fine. Hmm. Is it fine? Can you guys hear me? I'm fine. Hmm. I'm actually on my phone and then trying to use YouTube, and it's just not going. Well, hopefully, you guys can hear me. All right. Don't worry about it. If you guys can't hear me, somebody will say something. Let me go back to the studio. Allow camera. Yes. Are we good? Hello, hello, hello. Try one more time. Phone on my phone. So maybe together they're just not working out well. I am not going to worry about it, child. How is how is everyone today? Um, does anybody feel like this is a very peaceful Sunday, but does it also feel like a storm is brewing? Not the one we just had, Milton, like a whole nother storm, like in your personal life. Like, is everything okay right now that you're like, what the hell? What the hell? I usually don't get those kind of like doomed kind of feelings, but I did do the Leo horoscope, and that was pretty gloomy. So, we are continuing on with Company of Prophets. We should be on page 217. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but I missed last week because I actually went to church. Get me to the church on time. I was there and the walls did not fall apart. However, it did rain the whole time I was in church, the whole time. And I don't know if they waited till the rain stopped to end church or what, but the minute church ended, the rain stopped, so it was all good in the hood. Maybe it rained because I was there. Maybe it was crying, like, we've been waiting for you to come to church. What a nice church I went to, by the way. Like, amazingly nice church. So I really did enjoy myself. And I invited myself back, right? The woman that invited me is the farmer's wife. And when I spoke to her and thanked her, I said to her, I'm inviting myself back. And she said, absolutely. She says, you are invited back. So I think I'll make a concerted effort to revisit this church. All right, let's get started in our own version of spiritual church. And that is with the Company of Prophets, page 217. Exciting, exiting. I do that all the time. Exiting from work one day in 1954, Wilda Mays. Where's my highlight? Dang, now that I had a highlight here. Hold on, guys. I purposely grabbed the highlight and now I don't have it. So now I gotta use a pen. Oh well. Exiting from work one day in 1954, Wilda Mays, a longtime San Francisco Bay Area resident, arrived at the elevator coincidentally with a middle aged white man. He stood with ease of one confident and familiar with the settings, but she could not recognize him as amongst her coworkers. Many early evenings after that, as she was leaving for home, he appeared. They were always the only ones waiting for the elevators. Others passed them, seeming to choose to leave by stairs, not noticing. Neither physical speech nor physical gesture was ever exchanged. From the beginning, his presence caused Wilder's problems to dissipate. Thoughts were transferred. He apprised her of the exact headlines of the next day's newspaper, of future events at work and home. These things then happened as he had indicated. Under his tutelage, she knew the truth of things beyond the scope of earth, things she had long forgotten. She reclaimed that which was her own from amongst these spiritual truths and integrated them into her being, and she felt a growing calm and integrity. In that year after they met, she began speaking in a learned way about metaphysical subjects of which she had never thought or read about. She could also sense people's thoughts, their failings, and feel their pain. She became aware of her abilities to see through walls and go places without her body. With sudden insight, one day, Wilda realized the man by the elevator had never been in physical form at all, but was spirit. It was revealed that he was an ascended master who had chosen to work with her to revitalize her spirituality. That's a good word, revitalize. Through her astral travels, Wilda had become acquainted with other aware beings in various parts of the world. She is especially aware of alliances with beings in Cairo and in Washington, and she had recognized as appearing by people and has been recognized as appearing by people who live there. Let's see something, guys. I don't know where my bell is. One comment. Hi, Black Coffee No Cream. Grand Rising, Miss Tracy. Yes, I can hear you. Bless you, bless you, bless you for saying something. I really appreciate that. Let me. I have my bell here. You know, I keep this little pouch. What is this? Oh, I know why. I keep this little pouch by me, and the bell was here, but now the bell is no longer here. Hmm. I don't want to mess that up. Let me see if I can find my bell real quick, like a real bell. The bell I've been using has been off of YouTube. You stateside people would never survive. Never survive. Alright, I'll use this as a marker, which is much as lack of lack of electricity that we have. And they now have like hours, so this started around 8-ish. So we could be out of electricity for 4 hours. And I have not even eaten breakfast except for. Okay, I'm back. I think I lost myself for a minute. Has anyone had an experience with someone that was spiritual but looked human? I remember when my dad died, and I was getting on the bus at the Staten Island station, and there was a man there sitting down, shaped exactly like my dad. My dad had, he's a big boned man, so big boned men, as they get older, their shape gets a little like fluffy looking. I'm trying to give you a description. Pillsbury Doughboyish. As big men get older, right? There's nowhere to put the weight, right? Because you waited too long to take care of it, and so they just kind of look like Pillsbury Doughboyish. It's really funny. Um, and I was getting off the ferry, headed to my station at my bus, when this man was sitting, leaning on one leg, overweight like my dad. And it shook me a little bit. I never forgot, because I'm telling you the story to this day. My dad's been dead 10 years. It shook me a little bit. And I remember, I didn't go up to him, but I remember thinking, I know it's you, Dad. And yes, spirit can jump inside of bodies, right? So if you have a parent that passed over and you're eating something that you normally would not eat, but you'll say something like, "Oh, I'll try this." My grandmother, my mother, my dad used to eat this. They probably jumped in. I feel like my mom jumped in once, and I had a craving for pecan ice cream. I don't like pecan ice cream. I don't eat pecan ice cream. I didn't like it when she liked it. I was like, hell fucking no. And she would buy it, and it would be the ice cream that nobody touched, any of us. And I was in the Caribbean, and my relationship spiritually had changed with her. And one day I felt like pecan ice cream, and I ate it for a whole week, a pint. I ate it for a whole week. And when I finally realized, wait a minute, wait a fucking minute, I was like, get out, mom. Get get out. Get out. You cannot live here inside my body. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's funny to me. All right, next story. In 1968, 3 o'clock in the morning, July the 5th, the spirit woke me up and said, carve wood. Oh, wait. Oh, I did circle some of these things. What? Uh-uh. I'm going to skip. Oh, I've got a lot of things covered here. Uh, all right. I'm going to skip to page 222 because I have things highlighted here. So I'm going to skip to page 222, and I don't see any highlights after that. So forgive me, guys. Let's start over. Seriously ill in her 30s, Terrell decided to risk surgery rather than spend her whole life as an invalid. I was lying in the bed of the private hospital waiting to be taken to the operating room. I was praying fervently to live. I did not want to die. Hello? Okay, good. I did not want to die. I promised God that if my life was spared, I would I would devote it to the service of those who needed it most. Suddenly, I felt a presence near my bed. I opened my eyes and literally saw the Savior standing beside it, separated from me only by a small table. I looked at him just as I would look at a human being. It seemed perfectly natural for him to be standing there. He assured me that all would be well within me. He smiled at me as a father would smile at a child in the grip of a terrible fear whose terror he wished to dispel. From that moment, I felt perfectly sure I would recover from the operation and get well. In her 1940 autobiography, A Colored Woman in a White World, teacher and civil rights leader, Mary Church Terrell wrote of being aware of the psychic constitute in her life. Terrell was born in 1863 in Memphis, Tennessee. She taught at Wilberforce University in Ohio between 1885 and 1887. In 1895, she was twice appointed to the Board of Education in Washington, D.C., probably the first African American to hold such a post. She taught in that district from 1887, serving a total of 12 years. She was active in women's rights movements and the first president of the National Association of Colored Women, founded in 1886. She was an energetic supporter of the NAACP, helping to organize and participate in demonstrations and litigations for radical equality. What may be her greatest achievement was her leadership in desegregating Washington, D.C. restaurants, which occurred by court decision in 1953. All my life, I have been conscious of something within me which enables me to feel things which were coming to pass, at times without knowing why. I have been very wretched, and after a while, I would discover that something deli- deleterious to my family or myself have occurred during that period. Once, when I was a girl, about 13 years old, I cried all day one Saturday without knowing why. No girl in town was gayer than I as I ruled. I ran and played and climbed trees and sang whenever I had a chance. On this particular Sunday, I intended to spend the afternoon with one of my friends, but I felt too unhappy to go anywhere. Sometime afterwards, I learned that my dear mother had been in serious trouble and had been treated very badly that day. A talented artist, George Washington Carver, gave up his art career to follow his destiny, becoming a teacher to his race. In St. John, the 8th chapter and 32nd verse, we have this remarkable statement: And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Were I permitted to paraphrase it, Carver added, I would put it thus: and you shall know science, and science shall set you free, because science is truth. We get closer to God as we get more intimately and understandingly acquainted with the things He has created. I know of nothing more inspiring than that of making discovery for oneself. From Gary Kramer's book, George Washington Carver, in his own words, come further extracts from Carver's writing, which illuminate the philosophical principles which Carver used in teaching. And it goes: the study of nature is not only entertaining but instructive, and the only true method that leads us to the development of a creative mind and a clear understanding of the great natural principles which surround every branch of business in which we may engage. Aside from this, it encourages investigation, stimulates, and develops originality in a way that helps the student define himself more quickly and accurately than any plan yet worked out. More and more, as we come closer and closer in touch with nature and its teaching, we are able to see the divine and are therefore fitted to interpret correctly the various languages spoken by all forms of nature about us. Nature, in its very forms, are the little windows through which God permits me to commune with Him and see much of His glory, majesty, and power by simply lifting the curtain and looking in. Director of Agriculture and an instructor, Carver taught at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. Yes, what happened? Oh, oh, sure. Hold on a second.
They're all wearing the same shoes.
She got me into it. And then we sent you some.
Yeah, I got all kinds of pairs.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Yeah. I'm glad you and Mom got to be friends.
Oh my
Watch
goodness,
out for each
just
other.
in time.
Yeah, yeah.
Just in time. It's a whole era.
Yes. I miss living here, but it's great to come back. And everything's coming back to me. Like, oh yeah, I remember where that is. Oh yeah, I remember that. But a lot changes. It changes, but it's
not
still the
really.
same.
Some of the stores during COVID,
Right.
you know, a lot of people couldn't come back after that. So. But nice to meet you.
Her daughter is already. Yeah, there's a large group of us, so it's super hard to organize a group and coordinate. And I have to go this afternoon, pick up 2 more at the airport. So I think then we're all here, and we're going to Buck Island tomorrow.
And you got your luggage, I heard.
Yeah, I was like skinny dipping in the pool because I don't have any clothes.
You have to clean off somehow. Bring a washcloth in the pool.
My friend Carol that came with us, she worked on that all day yesterday. Just kept calling this airline, that stayed on top of them, and so they just. And it came in and it had a big red and white urgent tag on it. I'm like, this is Carol.
That's right. It better get here.
Yeah. So, well, it's great to meet you.
Nice.
And we're gonna try to head off to the beach.
Okay, good.
And I'm taking Mom up to meet you. We're going to Sandy Point.
Okay, so Sandy Point, is that Frederick?
Is it? Oh, yeah.
It's
It's all the way out of the point
so,
here.
yeah. Sometimes, as you know, Frederick said doesn't look like over here.
Right. And the sun seems to open up at that end rather than this end.
Isn't it just the weirdest thing?
But you know what? It It rains here. It rains for 2 minutes and then the sun comes out. Like, honest. They're all like, oh my gosh,
You're already at the beach.
you're at
so
the beach,
when
you're
it's
already
wet,
wet. You lay there long enough, the sun's gonna dry you.
you're my kind of girl. What's your sign?
Scorpio. My birthday's this month.
Oh,
This was my birthday.
October, Scorpio.
The very end, I'm the 27th. So
Okay,
I'm right
okay,
at the
yeah.
cusp.
Yeah, a little pesky, yeah. A little
Alright.
Scorpio.
I'm gonna go. Okay. I can meet your other friend. I'm here. Oh, everybody else is going back Thursday, and then I'm gonna stay with you Friday, we leave Saturday. So we will.
So fast all of a sudden. You've been building up and building up.
And it's here.
Tomorrow,
It's gonna
it'll
be
be there.
great.
It has to be great. It's new.
It'll work out.
This is a reset. Everybody's going through a reset.
Yeah.
So you're going through a reset because you're bringing your mom home. You're going through a reset because you're.
It's gonna be great.
It has to be. We have to be.
And my two sons are, one's really close by, one's fairly close.
Okay.
And my daughter's in South Carolina with two grandbabies. So she's gonna have a lot to do. Keep her busy. It's gonna be great. All right, you take care and have a
Nice
great
to meet
day.
you. Enjoy the beach. Hi everyone. I'm so sorry. Oh. Hi. Okay, I'm so sorry. My neighbor, Miss Marion, is ending an era of living here. 60 years she has been here, and she is going home with her daughter. So I just met the daughter, and it's just the end of a whole era. All right. Let me just start from this point. Director of Agriculture and instructor Carver taught at Tuskegee University in Alabama. Born towards the end of the Civil War in Diamond Grove, Missouri, Carver was never certain about his birth date, but estimated it was around 1864. Carver taught to those who have as yet not learned the secret of true happiness. Oh, that's interesting. The secret of true happiness. Does anybody know what that is? So the secret of true happiness, like when does that get to come into your being? The secret to it, okay. Which is the joy of coming into the closest relationship with the maker and the preserver of all things. Wow. Begin now to study the little things in your own dooryard, going from known to the nearest related unknown, for indeed each new truth brings one nearer to God. All right, so to those who have yet not learned the secret of true happiness, which is the joy of coming into the closest relationship with the Maker and Preserver of all things, begin now to study the little things in your own dooryard, going from the known to the nearest related unknown. You know, coming here, the first thing I met were a bunch of these cats. I came here on vacation for a month. The cats looked like they were just born. And by the time I came back 2 months later, they were bigger. And that was my first experience dealing with nature, dealing with stray cats. I mean, every cat I ever had was feral. Every single cat. I think I've never taken a cat from an animal shelter. But outside this front door, you can't help but have nature show up. There are geckos, there are lizards, and they come in your house. It's a nightmare. And plants grow very easily here. as much as the sun burns all day long, the plants thrive off of it. And then you could see nature changing in front of you from just the outside. You see nature just boom. Yes, Miss Marion.
Uh,
What happened?
no, are you going to go out for lunch or something?
I think I'm homebound, but oh wait, I have no electricity.
No,
So
and I don't have a car to go any place to get food.
right,
And
right.
some of the places I want to go closed on Sunday.
Yes. I wasn't, but what did you need?
Food.
Food.
And,
So you're not going to the beach with your daughter.
no.
You're not going to the beach with your daughter.
Oh, no.
Oh, got
The
it.
birthday party is tonight where she's living.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving her a birthday party.
How cool.
And so,
I mean, I'm sure Plaza has electricity. I can go that far.
I don't know how long I can just stand up and take another step, keep walking to pick out something. Everything, I'm glad they took care of it. The woman had all the paperwork filled out, everything. And I guess she's having somebody,
Transfer the work. Good. Notarize it.
so
Yes.
that is all
Taken
I
care of.
recognize my hand on. I don't know what I eat. I can't take any fast food.
Oh, I know that. Or you could take
No,
Wendy's.
just for today, just right now.
You could eat Wendy's.
That's what the heck else? Nothing's open on Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
And John disappeared again. I don't know if he had to take his friend in place. I already had my cereal, my fruit, everything,
Oh, good.
and my everything is almost by clockwork.
Yes.
When I go to
Yes, absolutely.
everything. What would be convenient? What would you do? Oh, you were gonna cook.
Yeah. I was gonna cook. I have some red bean soup that I got.
Oh, wait a second. I could. Oh no, there's no stove.
Right.
Because I was gonna get that frozen food stuff from. Right. Oh, they would be open when they the Food Town.
Food Town's open, yeah.
So we could go in there and I could pick out. Some,
Well, we is a big question. There's no way I can get you in my car.
oh, okay.
We're not injuring you at this point. You're so close. Your daughter's here. You are not going to be injured getting in my car or getting out of it. I wouldn't know how to get you out the car either.
No, I can't do any crawling.
Or falling out of it is what I'm concerned about.
The 4 dishes the same. I don't know what else to do. And those frozen foods, anything that's like spaghetti.
Okay, but remember, we have no electricity.
Oh,
You keep forgetting that. Do you want me to get you a sandwich at Food Town?
you know where the sandwiches are the best?
Where?
At the deli.
At Gallows Bay.
Gallows Bay.
Are they open on Sundays?
Oh, yes. They're
Oh.
open all the time.
Okay.
And lettuce, tomato.
Write it down, and when I finish working around 11 o'clock, I'll come to you.
Okay, because I don't like, I'm not eating any cheese. They were making special
It'll
sandwiches.
bind you.
I'm not asking for
Yes. It'll
Yes.
bind you. We don't need any more of that.
that. I like it on the cut roll.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Write it down what kind of sandwich you want. And I might get a sandwich for myself for dinner. I mean, I think I'll get a sandwich too because I can't cook anything. I have food here, I just can't
the
cook.
sandwich will work fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one then. If you could see my handwriting. But the woman is so efficient.
Yeah.
She lives there.
Yeah.
And okay, I won't keep you.
Don't worry.
You would.
I'll show up to you in an hour,
Okay,
less than an hour.
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but write down what kind of sandwich you want. What kind of meat, turkey, whatever.
Turkey.
Turkey.
I would prefer turkey.
Okay.
And make sure the roll has more substance to it.
Okay.
You'll see it. Sometimes it's on the side. Have you ever bought from them?
I've never gotten a deli sandwich from them. I usually get it from Food Town.
No.
So it doesn't matter. At this stage of the game, there's no electricity. I'm not going to be fussy. And I haven't had breakfast, I haven't had coffee yet. Like, I'm dying here.
Okay. I'm not going to be fussy either. What?
Right.
I just need food in my belly.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be to you in an hour.
No problem.
Okay. To those of you who has yet not learned the secret of true happiness, which is the joy of coming into the closest relationship with the Maker and Preserver of all things, begin now to study the little things in your own dooryard, going from known to the nearest related unknown. For indeed, each little truth begins and brings one nearer to God. So, even if you live in an apartment building, the ground around you is your dooryard. So, begin to study. Look at one particular plant, one particular flower, and see how it emerges day from day, um, each day looking more different than yesterday. That's what I've noticed. I created a little garden here. I got these gnomes. I've been carrying these gnomes around for 10 years. Miss Marion encouraged me to create a garden, which I did. Put the gnomes in the garden. You can't see the damn gnomes anymore because the plants around it has just grown exponentially. But it was the beginning of understanding life. And the damn geckos and lizards kept coming in my house. And I kept threatening them. But I would never kill, but I don't like them in my house. And when I created the garden, that's where they all live now. No, none of them come in my house anymore. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a beautiful thing. So they have gratitude that I created this garden for them, I would guess. Um, I want to teach people how to help themselves and to train people to use spiritual power. Hmm, spiritual power. I hope everyone, that is what I'm giving off. Teaching you your spiritual power, not your toxic power that your parents taught you, but your spiritual power. Mother Neal, in this way, describes her motivation. I believe each and every man has to develop his own potential. Mother Neal, this is a new one by the way, reads mind images, picking up vibrations through personal contact or letters. Sometimes I get symbols, inner visions of fish. What the hell does that mean, inner visions of fish? Flowers. Sometimes I hear, when I open up my consciousness, I get whatever is there for that person. I don't see that much, but here, she explains, my greatest developments listening to the small voice, which is 95% right. Mother Neal was born in Quinton, Georgia in August 1911, the fourth of 13 children. Remember back in the day when everybody had 16 children? Kill me. Kill me. God already knew I would not be happy with 16 plus children, 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm happy with one. That era where those poor women, kill me, please. I would not be happy. I would probably die at childbirth at some point. I know me. At some point, I'd be like in heaven. I'd be like childbirth, right, God? Yeah, yeah. Well, your body could. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My God, those men, they just love to have sex, God. Like that tool that you gave them, they use it. All right. In any case, I did not choose that era because I already know I am not that kind of woman. Mother Neal was born in Quinton, Georgia in August 1911, the fourth of 13 children of a minister. Both he and her mother encouraged their young to assert themselves. They taught them God, not at a distance, but was within each one of them. I was raised in a holiness church. I studied and searched myself. I was not born with powers. I learned from Mother Miller. I joined her temple in 1944. She taught me how to call out with water. What the hell does that mean, call out with water? How to work with candle. How do, what does call out with water means? Now a resident of Miami, Mother Neal declares a person has to develop the knowledge that God is not behind one, He's with you. The greatest thing is for man to find God. Let's see if I can Google this mess. Call out with water. What the hell does that mean? Hold on, guys. Get rid of all these things. Too many things open in my phone, and my phone wants to heat up. Okay, let me see something. Call out with water. All right. What does water out mean? To put out. All right. I don't know what that means. Um, I was gonna say something though. I'm sorry, guys. I'm working from my phone, so I hope I didn't lose you. Hi, Bree. How are you? How are you? Um. Okay. Next chapter. We have a way of attributing our failures to outside influences and forces. We cannot ever make another human being responsible for our own happiness. Happiness seems to be the theme for today. Happiness. We cannot ever make another human being responsible for our own happiness. The fact of the matter is that we are the ones, the don't think anybody understands how truly bad it has been for me. I mean, I know I told you all stories, but you guys just don't get it. All right. But it's her last day, so we're just gonna. Now they're leaving on the 19th. Today's the 13th. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Wait, today's okay. This week. Okay, they're leaving Saturday. Please God, make this an easy week. You know, they like to take advantage of you. Please God, let this be an easy week. I wasn't leaving my house today, but Miss Marion needs food and her daughter's here. Tell your daughter you need food, people. My God, the hell did I live through? Absolutely. Look at you noticing that, Bree. She is petrified. This ends everything for her. Ends. So that means she's leaving her independence, right? Under the tutelage of, family. And you are absolutely right. I see the fear, so I think it's very lovely of you to notice and hear it in her voice. Yes. But I really don't care, Bree. Okay? It's been difficult. Okay? But this is what I mean. Like, your daughter's here. As your daughter was coming, you could have said to your grown daughter, stop somewhere and get me some food because there's no electricity and I have no food and I can't drive my car. Right? Why does the slave child have to do this? Is what I'm saying or feeling or whatever. This is my personal truth. And I'm like, I'm irritated. Because the daughter's here. It's one thing when the daughter wasn't here. And I would have to be like compromising. I mean, Sunday, I didn't want to go anywhere today. All right. I guess I'm being selfish. Selfish. You're not calling me selfish. I'm calling myself selfish. I'm not getting any brownie points. I know that much. Like, there's no brownie points to be given here. God's going to be like, I have to take away a few points. I'll be like, yeah, go ahead and take it away, God. I'm going to agree with you. All right. Next chapter. Wait. Okay. Music vibrates on all chakras. Turn thoughts inward. Seeing is the special tool of Ella Eaton. It allows the universe to flow through her, assisting in healing individuals, groups, and in restoring harmony. Seeing goes into the heart of each person. A soprano with the New York Metropolitan Opera Company for 12 years, Ella left in 1975 to devote herself fully, look at this, to metaphysical counseling and teaching. Her work as a healer began earlier in the 1960s. Her initial interest in metaphysics came from trying to help her daughter overcome problems with learning disabilities. Methods she uses to raise consciousness in her teaching, counseling, and healing, meditation, prayer, visualization, techniques of breathing, and laying on of hands. A North Carolina native, Ella lives in New York City. She's an ordained minister in metaphysics and a Reiki healer. Reiki is an ancient system of healing touch in which the healer directs energy taught a person to promote physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. She works with hospice programs at local hospitals. At the Hospice Center, St. Luke's Hospital, New York, she served as director. I try to open myself to be free of judgment, she concludes. I consider myself a channel for communication about love. I provide myself as a channel so the one universal spirit can work through me. The goal in life is to find God. Did you guys know that? It's an interesting concept. The goal in life is to find. It's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that is a thing to find God. The goal in life is to find God. I wouldn't have said that ever. So I love the way this book gives phrases for us to live our life to. You can use. The goal in life is to find God. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments. When I work with the farmer, he never gets water. But when he does, I drink up all the water. And he keeps saying, "You drink all the water?" Yeah. He can't say nothing bad about that, but I drink up all. It's gotten to the point the last couple of days I had to buy water for everybody. So I drink it all up. What do you guys think of that phrase? The goal in life is to find. Mm. Sorry, guys, just getting some water. Mm. Thank you, God, for water. Dang. The goal in life is to find God. These words changed Alan Young's life. They were spoken one day in a seminary class discussion by his teacher, Howard Thurman. There is no need for books, seminary, or anything but search, Thurman had said. Not that I didn't know that, but those simple words were enough for me to drop out of seminary, Alan explains. By the time Alan was 29 years old, he had a degree in math and engineering and a doctorate in education. Fully world minded, he was immersed in two business ventures, a greeting card firm and a consultancy business. He was associate dean in the business school at the State University campus. He was also running for office in the city government, and he was married. All these things suddenly fell apart at the same time. Everything that I had been attached to, that I identify myself with, just went for a big turn. If it had been only one or two, that would have been enough, because there were so many things I just thought, something in my life is not right. I don't know what it is, but I have to go find an answer. This many things don't go wrong without a reason. Let's stop there for a minute. Haven't you been in a situation where everything went wrong? You're getting a divorce, you lose your job, your children aren't acting right, like, have you had that experience where everything goes wrong and then my mom died. Then 6 months later, my dad died. And then I lost my job. And then my husband came home one day and was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Have you ever had that? I know I have, but I've recovered. So trying to remember that part in my life. I don't know. I definitely had a period in my life where everything just. So he said, because it was so many things, he thought something in my life is not right. I don't know what it is, but I've got to find the answer. This many things don't go wrong without a reason. Hmm. My first goal was to learn to understand people, so I would come to understand myself. The process of self discovery began after a psychic reading. He took meditation classes. Then, for a year, Alan studied with a psychic organization. This led him to religion and to self. He was there 12 months before he left, inspired by Howard Thurman's statement: the goal in life is to find God. Then I started pursuing, I pronounce this wrong, Jungarian psychology. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I did dream work that really put me in touch with the language of symbols. We're going to talk about symbols in my um, psychic psychic group with Jason. Um, 2 years after his downfall, Alan reached a turning point. He gives his description. I had an experience in mid 77 of me really wanting to find the truth. I've been asking the question so much that I had this lucid dream on it. I was awake but drifting. The figure sort of curled around my body and said, are you ready to follow your true spirit, your true guide? I saw myself looking at my body. It was all like a dream and saying, yes, I'm ready to do this. He was then asked if he was ready to give up all that he had, including his lifestyle. As soon as that was said, I did see in the mind's eye, in the dream state, everything that had been attached to my car, my house, my education, my degrees, different people, and even the program of developing psychic ability. The final question presented to him: are you ready to cut the cord? The silver cord that connects you to the body, everything that I read about, and said, don't do that except when you are dying. I said, no. Days after his experience, Alan underwent change. There was a tangible, concrete shift. I felt more awareness in my nervous system to look at difference between good and evil and the following of the spiritual realm versus my world and its values. 6 months after another vision in 1983, Alan became aware of a new ability. I found I could create oracles in my mind without having to use physical devices. One of them was in sitting down, asking questions, and using imagery. He affirms that the strongest ability is the interpreting of mental imagery. One of his main interests is in teaching what mental imagery is, how to interpret and apply it to personal benefit and in business. He implements the principles without mental entry in the business world. Because of my business experience up to 1975, It seems I am definitely able to apply myself to the business world and to somehow blend spiritual matter together. Born in Berkeley, California, Allen is co-founder of the Aquarian Institute, which was created in San Francisco Bay Area during the years of 1978-1979. Summarizing the potential mental imagery techniques, Allen remarks, wherever there is to be known, people can get it. For people who want it totally for materially, it won't work. But if they want to find the truth, they will find the answer. As a child, Queen Anne told her family what was going to happen. She saw things she knew family members hadn't seen and could feel things coming along. I was born a seer. Shut your mouth. Shut this foolishness up. It's often the family response. When I was 14, I got so mad at my mother because she was always wanting to whip me. I said, "You won't hit me anymore." I went up to the well to jump in, and she said, "Oh, no, I have been on my own ever since." I once went totally blind for 3 days, but that was uncovering the spiritual. It had to wake me up from the material life to the spiritual line of life. My mother always rejected it because I think at that time she did not understand it. And when I got to be 35 years old, I said, "Mother, one day you will appreciate me before you leave this life." Then she began to understand and give me credit for my sin. Born in Martin, South Carolina in 1916, the oldest of 13 children, Queen Anne moved to Boston in 1944 to begin her studies in spiritualism, metaphysics, and occultism. I had a rough time getting established because all my family members turned against me. The idea of being a spiritualist minister, spiritual leader. Queen Anne has premonition and describes psychic awareness and discernment. I read directly from the mind. Mind comes from within. She works within the school system from Boston. She has a teaching permit as an outreach teacher, directing children and young adults towards the truth within themselves. Is how she explains her commitment. When you find yourself, you have nothing on earth to worry about. You will be rooted in God. Don't have to worry about anything. She is the founding spiritualist minister of Lily of the Valley, a non-denominational church established in 1955 in Malden, Massachusetts, where she resides. That means all nations can come. Anybody. She lectures, gives readings, teaches metaphysical occult principles to individuals and groups. She performs healings and exorcisms. One of the exorcisms she describes, I would never, as being among the worst matters to which she had ever attended. But when you know yourself and what to do, you don't have to worry about what kind of danger is coming up because you are rooted and grounded. The spiritual gifts help her learn to love the world and taught her to accomplish widely through their use. She loves doing spiritual work. I am a happy soul. Happy comes up again. Damn it. I am a happy soul. Ah. can't find it. She works family spiritual, the medical nations, exorcism. I am a happy soul in my life. Can I tell you guys that's all I want in my life? But I have recognized that I've made other people measure my happiness. And I don't know if you have to be 62 to grow up spiritually or be wise. But it's only this year that I recognize that I place every day all of my happiness into other people's hands. And once I took it out, it just pulled the cord back and pushed it back in myself, literally. I've begun to realize that I can really be happy, organize a different sense of happiness even. And I have to tell you, it took about 2 years to get here. I also have to tell you, I think the problem that I had with my son for the past 2 years was part of that development. I mean, it just taught me something that I always wanted. And the bottom line is, I always just want to be happy. But when you recognize that the power of happiness, that someone can grab that from you and make you kind of miserable, and then you realize that at being by yourself, you have to recreate your life, right? And so even upon my son and I coming back together, I had begun to realize that I want him in my life, but he doesn't get to measure my happiness. And that was such a relief. And the poor thing, one day he said, he texted me, he goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, yeah. And I know his expectation with us coming back together was for me to go back to chatting with him through text message or calling him, but I had changed. I didn't know how to tell him that I had changed. What we had was now a different presentation that I was bringing about. And so I recognized that there was something in me that understood. It's amazing to have my son and my grandkids back in my life, my daughter-in-law. But it doesn't make a break. Like I had already stepped into a different realm of my personal happiness, right? And my personal happiness just kept, like the last 2 years, just so many things, like misery, happiness, misery, happiness. Like you guys didn't know what I was going through until I got to the point of happiness. And I had to figure out that as a psychic, as a metaphysical person, as a seer, a medium, I fucking talk to the goddamn ants in my house, right? If I drop a little drop of gravy and I walk away from it, the ants, and I look at them and I go, listen, I'm not trying to kill y'all, but I promise you all, if you die, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to get the hell off my countertop. And when I come back, do you know those ants are gone? They are gone. And then I spray, I've learned from my people on YouTube, you guys, that if I spray vinegar, it keeps them away. But I don't spray it every day. And so I'm just trying to say, you know, I've learned happiness. And that's not liking myself. It's just fucking being happy. You know? I'm happy. I'm a psychic. I'm happy that I got to be 62. I'm happy. Of course, now it sounds like forcing myself to be happy. I'm happy, damn it. Bree says, I think we all want happiness. Some people think happiness is money, but it's really love, health, and freedom. And what's the word? That the goal in life is to find. And I think that gives you love, health, and freedom. Especially health, man. When you put your happiness in other people's hands and they use it, not on purpose. I don't think everybody is that mean, but then comes sadness, then comes health issues, you know. Yeah, yeah. I do want to tell you all, when I was going through what I was going through for the past 2 years, or longer, or it would have been 3 years in November, so 2 years basically. My saving grace was you guys getting up every day, pushing forward, and trying to get others, not to feel all the feels that I had, right? Just to feel happy and change and augment what's normal and natural for them. Every day, I just got up and I worked for you all. And because of you all, because of the system that was established, I found how to be happy. And so thank you, everyone. I am a happy soul in my life, Queen Annie claims. Your life has to be balanced. The material has to have its food, and the spiritual has to have its food. Wow. I try to motivate people to realize that whatever they need is internal. You must come from inside and then go out. Most people, I say, are outside all the time. I try to help them get inside. Everything you need is inside. This is my master goal, to help people to have their own personal realization of that. To be aware of how we are spiritually. These are the goals which Delita Grayer has for her students attending her workshop. Did I miss something? Oh, damn. Where's the bell? This is a new section. It's the same one. These are the goals to which Delita Grayer has for her students attending her workshops on intuitive perceptions. She blends clinical psychology with non-traditional techniques. More than 15 years ago, Delita was given the name Soini, which means greatly endowed by a priest who teaches African philosophy. Soini knew of her psychic attributes in childhood and used them, encouraged by her family, which strongly acknowledges intuitivity. Her daughter, Bakara Omi, whose name in Yoruba means of noble promise, born at a special place and in a special time, shares in the endowment. From an informational pamphlet of her celebrating herself workshop series, Delita's approach is further amplified. In her practice, Sonini considers the pluralistic nature of interpersonal behaviors, looking at the physical, psychological, social, and special aspects, culminating them into holistic therapy approach. Solini utilizes palmistry, basic astrology, and numerology in her counseling and consulting. In one of her workshops titled Back to Our Roots, participants are taught to use traditional African healing rituals in the treatment of modern day mental health. Delilah, a resident of Cleveland, Ohio, has a master's degree in clinical psychology and has completed doctoral coursework in that discipline. An independent consultant who also works with stockbrokers and business firms. People must learn to shift their perceptions, she teaches. It took me years to understand the phrase, everything works together for the good. It only works for the good if you see it as good, no matter what your experience is. If it is negative, you have to reverse it. Shift your perception and make something positive out of it. So I have people shift their perceptions. This is what I do. When I was 10 years old, I got up one night to go to the bathroom when I returned my father, who had died a year earlier, was standing in the door. I had no one to talk to about this experience. I could feel things. I had their sentience. I gave people warnings about things, but I couldn't talk with my mother. She didn't understand. My uncle was a Methodist minister, so my abilities then were not recognized. When Eleanor Walker studied metaphysics in the adulthood and came upon the concept of free will, it liberated her. She made immediate changes to her life. She could then acknowledge her psychic gifts. I was a visionary, clairvoyant, and then became clairaudient. We're all here to grow. Each person comes with an opportunity to work out their karma. A certified metaphysical teacher, Eleanor holds church services in her home in Washington, D.C. Man has to know himself and who he is and why he is. The thing is, not to become obsessed with material things. My purpose is to teach and serve in whatever way I can. My students all learn to help people to become aware of beauty within. I teach that as children of God, we are all one. The students came from varied religious backgrounds, and after training, returned to their own congregations to share. Her courses include the study of telepathy, vibrations, and how to heal through energy adjustments. Mankind is not really aware of what it is and what it has to offer. Few realize that God is not lined up in the sky, but within. Everything lies within oneself. You don't seek it outside. It's the second time that someone is mentioning that. The inside of you is what matters. Few realize that God is not up in the sky, but inside. Everything lies within oneself. You don't seek outside of oneself. Mankind, she emphasizes, has to realize what Jesus died for is to show us that mankind needs to dwell on life the way it is now, not life way back then. Oh, wow. Oh, that's eye-opening. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I get it. Now I understand my problem with religion. Oh, my God. We got it all fucking wrong. Mankind needs to dwell on life the way it is now, not life way back. Let me ask you guys something. If we only had a book on life in slave times, and many cultures have been enslaved, so you all figure out where in your culture you've been enslaved. If we figure out and only had a book about that past, would we grow? Would we grow if the only book that we kept reading over and over and over and over was about a time and period from that past? Would we grow? If you and I had to read a book about slavery over and over and over, would we grow? Would we grow? That's what the Bible does. And I'm not putting the Bible down. I just want you guys to understand. That is what the Bible does. That is mankind of the Word of God, keeping us in a past that is not about today. Now I get why everyone gets confused with religion and they go to quote Bible. They're quoting an era that doesn't exist in today's modern times. The Bible is a good read. It's an excellent reference point. But to live it in a way where it's all that matters today, to live the word in the Bible today, there are parts of the Bible that does not coexist cohesively. Like, I don't know if it's Acts or wherever, but one part of the Bible where one of the disciples, and by the way, they were not the brains, these disciples. God was like, you. And he did not, Jesus was like, you. And he did not pick smart people. Sorry. And when Jesus went on his way to transform into heaven, that's when the light bulb hit inside the disciples. Like, oh, this guy's amazing. How could we have missed it? We were friends with him. Now I'm going to do my job. And I'm going to preach the word of Christ. And he did a good job, because that's how Christianity is here to today. But they kept writing these letters. One of the disciples, I don't know which one, he kept writing these letters to the communities that he would visit. And I remember distinctly in one of the letters, he said, women should wear a covering on their heads. In some cultures, that sticks to this day. But I remember my old broads, I remember going to church where old Italian ladies would wear a covering, a black veil over their heads. They would show their face. And women would wear stupid little dollies. And black folks would wear, because you know how these black folks, man, these elaborate hats. So funny. I remember being a kid, and I remember thinking, forgive me, everyone, whoever wore these stupid hats. And if you have them, take some pictures and throw them the fuck out, because they don't represent you today. But I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just helping you, right? And I remember being a kid, and I remember thinking, first of all, these women are selfish. There are children in the church, and their damn hats doesn't let me see the preacher. So I had to learn to hear the preacher. And in the process of hearing the preacher, I could tell where the preacher was flawed, because I could hear it, because I could never see over these damn hats. I remember they all looked so stupid, proudly coming into church with their bright colors, because you know how we are as black folks, right? lemon yellow, lime green, red, red, red. Like we've never seen the color red until you're in church, right? The brightness of it. Like it should be called church red. And the brightest of blue, always royal blue, by the way. What's that about? We never went into pastel colors when we went to church. It's hilarious. And always sequins, jacket and skirt, and gloves. I don't know if anybody remember the gloves. It was the gloves. And Bree says, and they tell us the word of God doesn't change. I was often wondered how, when we're all changing, the world is forever changing, right, Bree? And so this is very, keep wondering what I'm going to get out of this book. I am getting something. Mankind needs to dwell on the life the way it is now, not the life it was back then. And so when they preach to us about back then, that is slavery. So everyone is constantly enslaved to the word of God back then. Wow. Oh, thank you, Bree. Bree's so smart. I think it was Paul who wrote in the book of 1 Corinthians that women's head should be covered. Fuck that. And fuck you, Paul. Like, you ruined our lives, man. You ruined us. Like, it became word, dude. Whole cultures don't let women uncover their heads now. Oh my God. It's been so difficult. It's been even more difficult being a woman. And then the added difficulty being a Black woman. And then the added difficulty having a different Bible than everyone else, where God is to be feared, because he'll come down and crash on you if you don't listen to Massa. Okay, I am losing my mind. Eleanor is a native of Washington, D.C. Both her husband and son have psychic abilities. This is the spiritual age, Eleanor states. Some people don't believe it. This is the time for people to get into awareness of their spiritual selves. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I definitely will finish this book next week, guys. Next week, I will finish this book. And the book after that is going to be The Celestine Prophecy. And it is by James Redfield. So I'm going to finish this book next week. After next week, I'm going to give you guys 2 weeks to get the book. We're still going to meet on Sundays, but I might do a challenge with you guys, like maybe a meditative challenge, if you guys want a little bit of that experience. But next week, finish the book. 2 weeks after that, we will have some meditative type of challenges to develop who you are spiritually and to see if you're able to understand your spiritual selves through meditation. So we're going to try that next week. Next week, finish the book. 2 weeks after that, meditation challenge. And then we'll begin the Celestine Prophecy. So buckle up, Buttercup, because this book here is encouraging you all to understand that Black folks are gifted and that you have been taught to not use the gift. This book is about telling you how many people are healers and visionaries and psychics, clairvoyants, their audience. So, figure something bigger than yourself that you have within. I'm bigger than who I think I am. And go within to pull it out and use it more. All right. I gotta go get Miss Marion some food. Though they won't leave my house. The farmer and his wife, oh child, they are putting me to work. But I absolutely love working with them. I mean, I find it so much fun. I do wonder why I'm there, though. God never puts me in a place where something doesn't get augmented. But for right now, I'm in the perfect place, perfect time sequence, working with herbs. And you guys know herbs is everything to me. It's just everything. I just love it so much. I use it for magical purposes. The farmer's wife use it for internally healing yourself. So it's just so nice to get the combination of both. Oh, and I called it, called these two, the farmer and his wife university. That's what I call them. They're teaching me so much. All right, Lord, thank you so much. I love you, I love you, I love you. And to my people, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Notice by accident I said thank you. I want to encourage people to thank the Lord. Just say thank you, God. You don't have to figure out for what. Don't make it that complicated. Just say thank you. Eventually, you'll figure out what you're thanking. All right. Thanks, Bree, for your insight. It's very profound insight to answer your statement. So thank you so much. All right, everyone. I am going to do my slave job and go to Miss Marion and go pick her up some food. And I know I'm being ugly, but I kind of need it. I love you guys. Take it easy. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.